Hi, I'm Diana William, a third grade teacher at Riverside Elementary. My life felt like a fairy tale until it unraveled into a nightmare. It all started at a fancy charity gala where I was representing my school. That's where I met James William. Tall, charming, and heir to his father's real estate empire, he stood out immediately. "You're different from the usual crowd here," he said, flashing a dazzling smile. "Care to grab coffee sometime?" One coffee date turned into luxurious dinners, weekend getaways, and a whirlwind romance. Having lost my parents in a car accident and recently my grandmother, the woman who raised me, I craved a family of my own. James seemed like the perfect answer. "You're all he talks about," his sister Patricia said during our first meeting, glancing at my modest dress. "We must take you shopping. The Williams have certain standards." Their mother, Eleanor, was even worse. During wedding planning, she dismissed every suggestion I made. "Darling, that venue is too quaint. We need something worthy of the William name." I tried to rationalize it. "They'll warm up to me eventually," I told my friend Maria after a tearful breakdown in the teacher's lounge. Maria wasn't convinced. "Girl, they're treating you like a project, not a person." My neighbor Donna echoed the sentiment. "Watch yourself, honey. Rich families like that don't welcome outsiders easily." But I married James anyway, hoping love would be enough. After moving into his penthouse, Eleanor became a constant presence. "The William name needs a strong male here," she'd say, her gaze lingering on my flat stomach. "I feel it. You'll give us a boy." When I finally got pregnant, Eleanor took over everything. She'd barge in unannounced with catalogs of baby clothes, all blue, neutral colors. "Nonsense. We know it's a boy." Then I found the bank statements. James had been sending massive amounts of our money to his family. "It's just family obligations," he snapped when I confronted him. "Mother says we need to support the William legacy." "That's our savings, James. Our money is family money, Diana. You need to understand how things work here." At one of Patricia's family dinners, I overheard them whispering in the kitchen. "She's still so common," Patricia said. "Teaching children. A real William wife should be on charity boards, not grading papers." "She'll learn," James replied casually. "We'll mold her." I touched my growing belly, dread settling in. What had I married into? Maria and Dana became my only refuge. "You're stronger than you think," Dana said one late night. "Don't let them dim your light." But the pressure kept mounting. My blood pressure was dangerously high during pregnancy, yet Eleanor's focus never shifted. At every doctor's visit, she grilled the staff. "Doctor, any updates on the baby's gender?" "Mrs. William, we need to prioritize your daughter-in-law's health," my doctor replied firmly. Eleanor waved her off. "The gender is critical for family planning." James was no help. Between work, endless family meetings, and vague excuses, I was often left alone. One morning, I sat in a waiting room, exhausted and dreading Eleanor's inevitable interference. She arrived unannounced, as usual. I told James I'd handle this appointment. "He has important matters to attend to," she said dismissively. "I'd rather have my husband here," I replied, barely concealing my frustration. "Don't be difficult, Diana. The family comes first." The ultrasound technician began the scan. "There's your baby," she said, smiling. "And congratulations. It's a girl." Tears of joy streamed down my face, but Eleanor's expression hardened. The ride home was painfully silent until she called Patricia. "Disappointing news. We'll need to discuss options." That evening, while making tea to calm my nerves, I noticed James's phone on the counter. A message from Patricia popped up. "Mom's right. Diana needs an attitude adjustment. This girl's situation isn't ideal." My hands shook as I scrolled up. James' reply read, "I know. Mom says we either show her the William way or cut our losses." Losses? My breath caught as I instinctively cradled my belly. This wasn't just a bad marriage. It was a trap. I thought work would be my escape. Eleanor ensured that even my work wasn't safe. She started showing up at Riverside Elementary, cornering my colleagues in the break room. "Poor James is so worried." She'd sigh dramatically. "Diana's been so emotionally unstable lately. The pregnancy has taken such a toll on her mental state." Before long, teachers I'd worked with for years began avoiding me. One day, I overheard whispered conversations in the hallway. "Did you hear? Apparently, she's having episodes at home." I heard Eleanor say they're worried about her teaching. "She's not handling the pregnancy well at all." Such a shame. By my 8th month, my blood pressure was dangerously high. My doctor was adamant. Mrs. William, you need complete bed rest. Your readings are alarming. But Eleanor waved the advice off. There's a crucial charity gala this weekend. The William family must be represented. Weakness isn't a William trait. Mother, I protested weakly, the doctor said. I raised 2 children without all this coddling, she snapped. You'll be fine. I tried reaching out to Maria, desperate for support, but Patricia intercepted her attempts to visit. Diana's far too fragile for guests, Patricia would lie. Doctor's orders. But I just saw her leaving for a family function, Maria protested. Family is different, Patricia said smugly. We know how to handle her condition. The night I went into labor, 3 weeks early, I called James 17 times. When he finally arrived, the stench of whiskey and stale casino smoke clung to him. Eleanor and Patricia strutted in behind him, their presence suffocating. We'll handle everything, Eleanor announced to the delivery room staff. The William family has a very specific way of doing things. But my birth plan. I protested weakly. Darling, those plans are for common people, Eleanor said, dismissing me with a wave of her hand. We know what's best. James, please, I begged, reaching for him. But he stepped back, his eyes glued to his phone. Through the pain of contractions, I realized with crushing clarity that I was utterly alone in a room full of people who were supposed to be my family. After 20 hours of grueling labor, my daughter Emma was born at 3:47 a.m. Tears of joy streamed down my face as I reached for her. But Eleanor was already on the phone. Yes, it's unfortunate. A girl, just as we feared. No need for congratulations. James stood at the window, his back to us, while Patricia smirked in the corner, her fingers flying across her phone. #family disappointment, she muttered under her breath. Can I hold my baby? I asked weakly. Better let us clean her up first, a nurse said hesitantly, but Eleanor intercepted. Catherine needs rest. The next day was a waking nightmare. Every time I pressed the call button, the nurses delayed their responses. One even said coldly, "We'd heard you're having a difficult time adjusting." I just need help with breastfeeding, I pleaded. Perhaps formula would be better, she replied. Your mother-in-law mentioned you're quite emotional. By discharge time, I was desperate to leave. James appeared briefly, disheveled in a wrinkled suit. Urgent business at the office, he mumbled. Mother will handle everything. James, please, don't leave me, I begged. Stop being clingy, Catherine. It's not attractive, Eleanor snapped. We'll be back shortly. Hours passed. Emma was crying, and no one came. Finally, a nurse entered. Ma'am, we need this room for incoming patients. But my family is coming back, I protested. That's not what Mrs. Williams Sr. told us. She said you'd arrange your own transportation. I don't have my phone or wallet. Not our concern, ma'am. Please vacate the room. Clutching Emma to my chest, I walked into the biting January wind, still in my thin hospital gown. We had to walk 3 miles before someone stopped. Oh my God, are you okay? A woman called out, rushing toward us. I'm Lisa. Are you seriously walking after just giving birth? I don't have a choice, I stammered. Like how you don't. Get in the car. Lisa drove me home, glancing at me in the rearview mirror with concern. This isn't right. Do you have someone to call? They took my phone for safekeeping. Once home, Lisa helped settle Emma and left me her number. Call me, I mean it. The next day, Maria stormed in with hospital security footage. Look what I found, she hissed. Your mother-in-law paid the nurses to ignore you. That evil witch, Dana spat, pulling out her phone. And listen to this. She played a recording of Patricia at the salon. Mother's plan is brilliant, Patricia's voice purred. No phone, no money, no support. We'll break that teacher down to size. She'll learn her place or lose everything. Later that night, while searching James's desk, I found a stack of papers, casino receipts, loans from his parents, hundreds of thousands of dollars gone. I stared at Emma sleeping peacefully, my heart breaking and hardening at once. Lisa's card sat on my nightstand, a lifeline. We deserve better than this, baby girl, I whispered, stroking her tiny hand. Mommy's done playing their games. Lisa's help became a lifeline, not just for survival, but for justice. She landed me a teaching position at Westbrook Academy, doubled the salary, and a fresh start. While I outwardly appeared to move on, I was quietly building my case against the Williams family. You'll never believe who I ran into, Maria said one afternoon over coffee, her voice low but urgent. William and Associates' former accountant. My heart raced. What does he know? Everything, she replied. Richard's fraud, James's gambling, years of cooked books and laundered money. And he kept receipts. If he has proof, Lisa said, her eyes gleaming. This could end them. As we pieced the puzzle together, the cracks in Patricia's Instagram perfect life began to show. An anonymous tip, thank you Dama, led her husband to the Continental Hotel's records. 3 different men, Dana revealed with relish. And guess what? One's a business rival of Richard's. I've got photos and receipts going back 2 years, Maria added. And the best part? He's on Richard's board of directors. Meanwhile, the hospital footage proved even more damning than I'd expected. Lisa's sister, a legal clerk, helped trace the money trail. These bribes go way beyond the maternity ward, she explained. Eleanor's been buying silence for years, medical board members, social workers, even a judge. How deep does this go? I asked, stunned. Deep enough to drown them all. Each piece of evidence was a ticking time bomb. I stored copies in multiple secure locations, waiting for the perfect moment. We need to move carefully, Lisa warned. One wrong step and they'll bury everything. Rich families like this are experts at covering their tracks. But then James made the fatal error. Desperation drove him to dip into company funds to cover his casino debts, and the SEC had already started sniffing around. This could blow everything wide open, Maria's accountant contact confirmed. They're already looking at offshore accounts. I waited until they were at their weakest. The divorce papers hit James's desk the same day the fraud investigation went public. We need to discuss custody, his lawyer called. Panicked. Sure, I said coldly, right after I send these hospital videos to the medical board. Or maybe I'll start with James's drunk driving footage. What do you think? Gambling receipts, perhaps. What do you want? Full custody, and for the Williams family to stay far, far away from us. The dominoes fell perfectly. Patricia's affairs destroyed crucial business alliances, and her lover on the board turned state's evidence against Richard. James's gambling investigation exposed years of company theft. The Williams mansion, their pride and joy, was auctioned off to cover legal debts. James showed up at my office one day, desperate. Diana, please. They're investigating everything. I can change. I can help you. I met his eyes without flinching. The only William I acknowledge is my daughter. There's the door. Leave before I call the FBI with those offshore account numbers. The great William dynasty crumbled under federal investigations. James lost his real estate license. Patricia's scandals left her socially exiled. Richard faced prison time. And Eleanor? She moved into a modest condo, stripped of everything she valued. Mommy, can we paint my room yellow? Emma asked one sunny afternoon in our new home. Of course, baby, I said, smiling. This house is about joy now, not secrets. The empire they built on lies collapsed under the weight of the truth. I didn't have to throw a single stone. I just waited for their house of cards to fall, holding the evidence that would bury them all. As I look back, one question lingers. Was I too harsh in rejecting Eleanor's tearful apology at their mansion, where she begged to know Emma? Some might say everyone deserves a second chance, especially with their grandchild. Others would argue that toxic people never truly change. They simply adapt their manipulation tactics when they lose power. What would you have done in my position? Would you allow Emma to know her grandmother, now that the Williams family has lost everything? Or was I right to sever ties for good? Share your thoughts below.